Hello, my name is Mr. Chipman, and I teach biology, AP Biology at Murray High School in Murray, Kentucky. This is 5.13 Methods to Reduce Urban Runoff. We looked at urbanization. We talked about a little bit about this idea, but here we're sort of giving the solutions for some of the problems that we introduced in that lecture. What is urban runoff? It is exactly what it sounds like, right? It is the amount of water that is running off of surfaces in urban environments, and it tends to be high because of impervious surfaces, things like roads, parking lot, rooftops. These prevent infiltration of water into the ecosystem and makes it really difficult for water to sort of return back to the ecosystem, or when it does, it returns very polluted because of this runoff sort of thing. Increases flooding risk for the city, and again, the pollution can be a really big deal. So let's look at some of the methods to reduce this. One of these is permeable pavement. Look at this. This is pavement, but it's permeable. It almost looks like sort of like your backyard patio that's been allowed to grow up for a couple years, right? But it's by design because the cracks in the pavement do not hinder vehicle travel, but also allow for water to kind of soak in. And you can see in the background of this picture that there's roads back there that are impervious, but so maybe this is more of a sidewalk situation. But either way, this is more permeable than just a cover of concrete or asphalt. Much more permeable pavement. Green roofs are an example as well. These are vegetated rooftop surfaces. They absorb rainfall because they have things growing on them, as opposed to having just a roof that doesn't absorb and creates more problems. This absorbs it. Now, I guess this could cause problems long term, maybe for the building structure. I'm not sure how this works, frankly, from an architectural standpoint, but it definitely reduces runoff. Retention ponds. This is a classic sort of retention pond with the pump in the middle that's spraying a fountain, and you've got some sort of bird there, and there's no swimming because you need to be aware of alligators in this retention pond. The idea behind a retention pond is to retain water, hence the word. Holds water temporarily, filters out pollutants as well, the vegetation, the microbes and that things that live in the pond, the organisms will help to filter out those pollutants and make the water cleaner and keep it cleaner for the environment. Several others that I don't have. Well, here's one. Public transportation. I believe this is Seattle. I've ridden this public transit before. It was very nice. And yeah, public transit. It's a great way to do this because it requires less roads and more people can get to more places with less problem. Very good thing. Reduces vehicle use, need for parking lots and all that sort of thing, though you usually park in one place or the other. It's better overall. Let's look at some examples. This is an example from Portland, actually, the idea of permeable pavement and what this is called a bioswale to improve filtration. And it's sort of like this little area that is next to the curb that has soil in it and some plants and whatnot. And this bioswale allows for the absorption of pollutants. It allows for the absorption of water to curb impervious surface runoff. Here's Singapore. These are some gardens on roofs. Singapore's a big place, really big city. And so one of the ways that they reduce this sort of thing is by creating gardens on roofs. Then you have some recreation, ecological service sort of thing going on here, and it cools the city, and there's a lot of things going on. That's good. Gardens are nice. Let's look at a practice problem. City is testing ways to reduce stormwater runoff. Researchers set up 4 parking lot test plots. Doing some science in this city. One of this traditional asphalt, one with permeable pavement, one with added trees, and one with both trees and permeable pavement. They measure the amount of water that infiltrates the soil after each rainfall event. Which conclusion would best support a sustainable runoff strategy? This looks like an experimental design kind of thing. You got 4 different things. You're measuring the amount of water that's infiltrating, and so which one of these is going to be best? Let's look and see what's going on. Traditional asphalt allowed for the greatest infiltration. It did not. Measuring infiltration is not a valid way to test runoff reduction. I don't think that's true. Though I'm curious now. I don't know what the answer is. Probably I should check these answers before I do. Plots with permeable pavement and vegetation showed the highest infiltration, supporting their use to reduce runoff. I'm going with C. All plots reduce. They do not. C is the correct answer. Sometimes, yeah, it's good to read, because I thought that measuring infiltration would be a good way, but I needed to be convinced, and C convinced me that B was wrong. Sometimes that's a good thing. We're moving right on through Unit 5. It's a big old unit. 5.14 coming up next.